today. Peloton up 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today. Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies. Mia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jacobi is the CEO of Akerna, the best trade idea resource out there.
All right. Oh, wait, I got a double audio. All right, here we go. Aaron Bree, you didn't have the countdown going, baby.
What is up? What is up, Jason? How we doing? Sorry, I was waiting for you to hop in.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. Sound good.
Okay. All right. All right. Where are you?
I'm back home in St. Louis, flying into Detroit.
Why is the Benzinga logo missing?
Ooh, did we change the brand by accident? Let me get it back up there.
No, you just didn't put it up there.
There it is.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on. All right, we got a live market today, but only 88 people here right now. Live market trading. If you're here, say hello, say hi, AB. We're going to talk about some quick gainers and losers. We have some show guests coming up, but Aaron, pull up the Benzinga Pro. I want to show one of stocks that keeps running. Sad I sold any of it, but I bought it for 8,000. Now it's at 30, almost 30. Generac, GNRC. Will you pull up the Benzinga Pro chart on for that one?
Yes, sir. Doing it now. What about when did you guys get power back at your place?
Well, I stayed at a house that had power. I think we got back Friday morning or 11:30 at night, Thursday night. That's when we got it. GNRC. Aaron, I thought you loved the stock market.
I do. This is like the one stock I'm not familiar with.
Oh, SPAC attack is still going. So is SPAC attack ending soon? What's the story?
Yeah, let me tell them to end real quick.
Well, I mean, if there's a reason for them to keep going, it's fine.
All right, let's see. So this stock is up 1.5% today. I mean, I'd assume it's on pent-up demand from people out of power all across.
These things work. These things work wonders. These things work wonders. Like, they're absolutely insane how good they are. And like I can't even believe. I can't even believe how good they are. Like, they're just so strong, and I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like your power never goes out. I think most houses being built from here on out will have generators like this. I think Generac is a great stock to own long term. I bought it, during the COVID. Here are my sales. I'll show that in a second. But here's like my prices and how I went about it. I sold some too. I sold some, but I kept most of it.
I mean, this thing's just been ripping since like mid-May. I mean, mid-May it was at, let's see, let me zoom out a little bit. Mid-May it was at 288, May 20th. Now it's at 442. So in 2 months, less than 2 months, it's gone up about $150.
So let's see what I did. Hold on, I'm going to pull it up in a second. I have to go
Raz, this weekend in St. Louis, we had some bad storms, and my power went out at my family's house, but luckily we got it back within like 12 hours the next morning. But a lot of my friends around here have been all weekend without power.
Okay, I'm looking to see when I bought it. I see when I bought calls, but where's the stock that I bought? I see sell. What month did I buy it? When did COVID start?
COVID started March 2020 or February 2020, depending on how you want to look at it.
Okay. All right. So why is my E-Trade not showing me that? February 2020. Is there limited to... Okay. I don't know. Maybe my E-Trade is showing me the... I bought these calls on it. I mean, at least I can show you the calls. I do not know why I don't see my stock that I bought. Do they
So
not?
what makes this company so strong in your mind? I mean, is Tesla not going to get in? I mean, they have something. I know the Powerwall is not exactly a generator, but isn't Tesla going to be able to power someone's home soon eventually?
It comes to core focus sometimes, and in this instance, their core focus is on generators and applying, you know, and taking markets. I mean, they're like the sole provider in this space. It seems like at this point. Here, I'll show you 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to show. They see like they have the monopoly on the market, so to speak. So I don't know why it's not showing my stock that I bought. Maybe I can't go back a certain amount of time with E-Trade. I'm not sure if there's a limit, but
Maybe try going back a little further than February 2020.
Look at those calls we bought at $2.50. So I bought 3 calls, 50 cents, and I didn't want to be greedy. They were August calls. I sold one at $8. Look at that, Aaron. And I bought them for $2.50, and then I sold one at 42.
Holy cow!
And then look, sold one at oh, maybe that's what happened. So then there was one at 135, and I guess I bought it at 135. I bought 100 at 135.
Let me see. So you bought.
I bought 3 calls.
Oh, you exercised the option, so you bought it at.
The exercise price was 135. So that's what happened. So I bought at 250, sold 1 call at 880, sold the next call at 4. So 200, $2.50, $200. Then I sold it for 4,200, right?
So let's go see.
And then I bought the exercise at 135. So I bought 100 shares. I sold 20 because I didn't want to be at as much margin at 180, and then I sold 5 at 302 and 10. So I guess I have 24. So I have 60 shares left. Should have kept all 100 shares, but 60 shares.
So let's see. I'm going to go on Benzinga Pro and look on the chart on August 22nd, 2020. We'll see what it was at when you bought it for 135 a share. All right. Have a guess. What do you think the share price was when you bought it for $135 a share, August 22nd, 2020?
No, 160.
190.
Got it. So 190. So that was August 2020. Okay. So 190. So that was, and that's when I bought it at 135. All right. And so people.
Yep. So you got a good deal on that.
And then it went to 180. I still could have, played in there. So so Generic's one that I'm just gonna keep the 60 shares that I have. It may fall, may do this. I'm keeping it forever. I'm not selling any more shares of Generic. Just not. What do we have on the show coming up today?
So at 12:30, we have a company called Game On. They are under a different company, Victory Square, and Game On's doing the micro betting. So you're watching a football game live, and you can bet on a play, bet on the.
Is it public?
Game On is not, but Victory Square, the parent company, is. But Game On and Victory Square are both event sponsors for us for an upcoming event.
Got it. Okay, so here's what I have moving today. I trimmed some Tesla last week, like the most I've trimmed in 1 week before ever, because I had 530 shares, I think I trimmed 15 shares at 640 last week. I was trying to reduce the portfolio size, just dedicate. I know you told me keep with my conviction, right? And I, so I sold some. So now it was, before the week started, I was I got it to 30.1. Now it's 32% because it went up. I tried getting it to 30%. Disney is having a nice little move today. I already mentioned Generic. FGF is not really moving much. It's just such a big position in the portfolio. That's why you're seeing a small move it. Caesars is having a little bounce. I still like Caesars. I like Agri, as you guys know. Twilio, Square. I'm going to keep those ones for a while. And Del Taco, etc. Now we had a lot of news overnight, but I feel like would you know the news? Because Mitch did a good job. Not Mitch. Chris Kaji did a good job on the news earlier.
I mean, I've seen some news on specific stocks that I'm in. I mean, we had the big Virgin Galactic space news, ticker SPSE.
We pulled up the chart. What it do on that?
Big sell off. I mean, this looks like a classic case of buy the rumor, sell the news. So if you own the stock, I'm going to pull up the chart on dailies.
And as you're pulling that up, Jager mentioned Disney's due to Black Widow opening. It could be right. I just think Disney's a good long-term holding. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Disney is one of those companies that just has their fingers in so many different buckets. So it's hard to say, that just because one movie they have did really well in the box office over the weekend, that's the catalyst for the stock being up 2.5%. Because when you have a company that's, a $400 billion company, it's hard to have one little piece of the company move the stock like that.
Yep.
I always think about Microsoft in that way because people make a big deal about Xbox sales, video games, and it's, at the end of the day, at least recently, Microsoft's biggest driver has been the cloud computing, that they're the only company in the world able to somewhat compete with Amazon on the cloud computing front. But just my point is that companies, when they're that big, it's hard for one thing to move a stock that much. Let's see. Mitch is saying I'm wrong. It is Widow. I disagree. I don't think just because this one movie is doing well in the box office that accounts for the stock being up 2.5% today.
But it gets the headline, so people gives them a catalyst to go buy.
Let's look at the headline. Let's look at the headline. Look, what do we have in Benzinga Pro?
Go to the news.
Well,
because what I want to point out is how much money they made compared to the box office. So that's, I think, the important part to point out here. Essentially, if you look at how much they made in the box office and how much they made on their Disney Plus platform, it's close to almost being the same amount. And so if they can make the same amount, I love the idea that Spencer brought up in pre-market prep. He said, so now Disney's going to renegotiate all these contracts with movie theaters like AMC because they're able to make their money at home already on their platform. They don't have to be giving out so much money in the movie theaters. So I think this is what you're seeing, this reaction showing strength in Disney Plus, just on what we can see from the news.
Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. So that's a little bit different. If you want to say that this is a sign for things to come for the movie theaters and this is a good sign for the recovery. Now they're going to renegotiate all their movies. That's different than just saying this one movie is doing really well. So now this company that's $400 billion market cap is up 2.5%. I mean, yeah. And at the end of the day, anything, that could have triggered the price movement on an upward swing. And then we see it go up 2.5% and people are just looking for the reason. Last week when we saw Newegg, people were attributing that huge move to these NVIDIA cards being on the site. I don't think that was all of it, but it's helpful to have some sort of an explanation for why a stock's moving a certain way. This does seem to be the catalyst, the Black Widow. But going back to space, I mean, this thing has been selling off. Virgin Galactic Holdings, ticker SPSE. It started the day down around 10% and looked to be holding those levels for a while.
Why such a sell-off? What would you say? Because the competitors are doing the same thing now? I mean, the hype was overplayed. Like, what's the reason for such a sell-off?
So I would say the reason for such a sell-off is because now the next catalyst, they can do this again, but now it's already been done. They've already gone to space in their, go to space. Essentially, they just flew very high in an airplane and touched the very edge of space. And I think they're probably pretty far away from doing something more sophisticated in space than that. So the next catalyst would be just the next time they take one of these trips, and it's
the shelf offering thing that.
And then they sold 500 million shares on this news this morning.
Yep, and they could have held that off for a while, or for a little bit.
I think they probably just thought, let's get it over with while the stock's down anyway. But who knows? But I was looking for it to hold here. Let me go on a shorter candles. Let me go to the 15-minute candles. I was looking for it to hold here down low where it dropped to this morning, and then it continued to drop further than that. I was saying I think it opened down because of that, because now the next catalyst is going to be further away. Yes, the $500 million share offering came in, but that was after the stock had already opened down 10%.
Yep. And they didn't sell the shares, as Mike Wisdom was saying. They registered to sell, which is the news. You know, come on, you got to read it. We got to read our own news, Paul Schmidt said, and he's right. And Aaron, you got to go to our news section of Benzinga Pro.
Go to news feed. We want just general news feed?
No, on SPCE.
Oh.
Okay, so you see
Virgin Galactic shares are trading lower after the company announced a $500 million shelf offering of common stock.
and that's earlier today.
That was at 9:43 Eastern time, AM.
Yep. Yeah. So that's is like not accurate. Yeah, Anthony, I know. Aaron, you got to get up early and read the news on this stuff. That's what he said.
I was with David Green. We were trading it live this morning, and he bought some on the dip.
Oh, he did?
Before the offering, and then the offering hit and just tanked it even further. And that was a good lesson of, even when you have the technical analysis saying like get in at this level, there can be another piece of news that hits and hits you even further. And so he was getting in at this level thinking it was going to bounce off the dip, not knowing obviously they were going to release the news on this offering, and then it hit further, which is why, right. Chris, the stock was down before the offering. That's what I was saying, is why when Raz asked me initially why the stock was down so much, I was giving my reasoning for why the stock was down before the offering, and then the offering hit, driving it down further. So, exactly, the offering just buried them down even further.
So, but let's go to let's go to Tesla. Let's just go to Tesla.
And I would just say it's a good lesson that even if you have your technical analysis, the news is still important. I mean, that's why you need Benzinga Pro to get those alerts. You know, we knew the offering hit right when it did. So Tesla's up 4% today, $26.
Yes. So are people buying Tesla today? Like, are people buying Tesla, waiting for the Cybertruck to come out? Are people buying it? What's the consensus?
You know, I've been seeing a lot of mixed things on Tesla, Raz. There's been, you know, I saw an article last week that we had on Benzinga talking about the Tesla's market share in China, that people are worried that these other companies, NIO, XPeng, are going to start cutting into Tesla's market share in Tesla, or China's market share in Tesla. But there is, you know, I don't think there's any company right now that's putting out cars like Tesla is. The Plaid, you haven't had a chance to be in one yet, have you?
No, I'm not that impressed with it.
Well, I know you're not impressed with the outside, but last week we had Ross Gerber on, and he's been posting videos of his Plaid on Twitter and whatnot, and it looks pretty cool to me, at least.
I just want to let you two know I got us an invite. I got us an invite to go check out a Plaid that's going to try to break the record of electric vehicles. So who knows? Maybe we get it out there, do another car.
But when you say it looks pretty, thank you. When you say it looks pretty sweet, what do you mean it looks pretty sweet with Ross Gerber's videos?
I mean, he's describing it as like a fighter jet. I mean, I think the wheel thing's cool. I think how, you know, how he's describing it, just how quick it is really the thing to me that is making it stand out, because, you know, like you said, Raz, it's not that you know, it's not that different from the outside, from the regular Tesla. So, you know, if it's not flashy from the outside, there's got to be some other stuff that's setting it apart from their other models. And that's what it is. I think it's the quickness, the sophistication of the, you know, the whole product. I wish we had Ross Gerber back on here to show us more about it. Oh, Mitch, you got a video pulled up of the Plaid? Here we go.
Let's go play it. Do you know how to do it?
Yep, we're playing it right now.
No, but there's no audio playing.
Oh, here we go.
Mitch, do you have a way to put the audio on? Here we go.
It's lit. All right. This is the new Tesla. I just got it as a gift from my guy, Ross. It's lit.
All right.
We out here.
This is how you go into gear.
The new Tesla. I just got it as a gift for my.
More to it?
I think that was it. I saw some more of Ross talking about the car. I mean, look, bottom line is Tesla. If you're buying Tesla right now, I wouldn't buy it as a trade. I'd buy it as something that you're going to put in your portfolio and hold on to forever.
Got it. And you think it's prime for that?
I mean, I think so. I think it still is. I mean, could it drop, down to 500 in the next 3 months? It could. It could also go up to 1,000 in the next 3 months. But I think, if you buy it now and you just don't look at it, that in 10 years, it's going to be worth a lot more in 10 years than it is today.
Yeah, it just it's. I mean, I know that competition's coming, but Tesla's 5, 6, 7, 8 years ahead. I do love the Cybertruck. I love the Cybertruck because you can park it anywhere. You're not afraid of a dent. It's a different type of car. There are some good electric cars. I mean, the Lucid, there's a Mercedes one coming out. Tesla does have a great charging network out there that I'm impressed by. And they're just like, I mean, I took someone's Tesla this weekend to show him how to do the self-driving. He had no idea all the features. I was changing the guy's horns so it can make whatever horn sound he wanted. Like, when at a horse race, they go do-do-do. We did that one. We did like a welcome. Then the Tesla had the fart noise as a horn. So, and then it would also do a horn. Like, say you're listening to a song, it'll take the last 3 seconds of the song and make that into a horn. So just imagine like, and there's a clap sound. So if I was at my son's baseball game, I can clap. Or you can. I mean, there's a bunch of different things. Tesla's my biggest position, guys. 30% of my portfolio. And I sold 15 shares last week, and I sold 5. Then someone said you should sell more, so I sold another 10, and so 15 shares at $6.50. It's 32%. The chat moderator asked what stock should I buy live on the show right now. Someone said Coop, COOP, or something like that. I'm not familiar with that one, but if you give me a good stock that you think I should buy right now, I will maybe buy right now or look into it. I think that's how I got to Generac. Someone told me to buy it, and so I got into it, did more research. I wonder what Express Spa is these days. XSPA.
Express Spa is at $1.41.
Same kind of thing. Pull up NVIDIA. Anthony says NVIDIA. Let's see what NVIDIA is at.
NVIDIA is at $8.19.
Wow.
So just off its all-time highs.
Holy cow. So I could have got this one a lot cheaper. What about, okay, so NVIDIA is in the running. What about Sava? Someone says Sava. Hector Garcia says Sava. But I think Hector Garcia gave me U.S. Steel, and that didn't do too well for me. It was like flat.
Ticker SABA.
SABA. It's in the chat. It's in the chat.
SABA.
Look in the chat.
I got it.
These are smart people here, dude.
Cassava Sciences. It's up 5%, almost 6% today. So this looks like to be a biotech.
I need if someone gives me a symbol and a catalyst, that's really helpful. What's DAC? Pull up DAC. Since you know every stock, don't look it up yet. What is it? Bree, don't you cheat?
I was gonna say Danaos Corporation.
Yeah, you didn't know it. Okay,
that's what I was gonna say.
So scroll down. Let's see what they do. Look at Benzinga Pro. What does it do? Read about it.
It says Danaos Corp is an international owner of container ships. Oh, so container ships have been the price to get a container ship right now has been off the charts, and shipping is taking, and for companies, it's taking companies like three times the amount of time it normally takes to ship something. So I could see some good plays, some good shovel plays in the container shipping world, but I don't know if we've missed it. Let's see what the stock has done over the last month or so.
Enphase Energy. Wait, I think I own that. Yeah, hold on.
Raz, when I was talking last week about keeping your conviction, that's really only for long-term investments, because if you were trading in and out of your positions all the time, then I would think that 30% might be a little too much to have in one trade. But if you're talking about investing, like I said, I mean, could Tesla go down another $100 in the next 2 weeks? Yeah, it could. The question just becomes, are you able to stomach that with it being 30% of your portfolio? If you are able to stomach it going from 670 down to 500 and seeing your portfolio go down a little bit in the short term, then that's fine. Just knowing that if you hold on to it, eventually, the stock will become worth more than it is today. Of course, that's barring any huge problems with Tesla, controversies, Elon Musk, anything can happen, but more times than not, I'd put a lot of money on it that Tesla is going to be worth more in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years than it is today.
Even though we're at close to $1 trillion.
Yeah, there's a reason it's gotten up to this point, and I think because a lot of keen, smart investors have seen how far ahead Tesla is on so many different things in the electric vehicle market. Will there be competition that comes along that, will NIO, Lucid Motors, Xpeng, all these companies, even Volkswagen, they're all putting out nice EVs now. So
I think I will buy some NVIDIA. I was about to put this SUMR, the summer infant thing. I was about to buy it live on the show, but then I went to the pro page and it's only a $28 million market cap. So, I don't know. 28 market cap.
Yeah, AMD is another company.
Daniel says Tesla will go to 400. That is his entry point. He is very short it.
Okay.
Okay.
I got Money Mitch is saying check out Drive Shack. This is one that I've heard.
I bought Money Mitch's last position that I bought from him. Let's see how it's doing.
Genie?
What is it?
GEN. What was it?
Oh yeah, Genie. I'm down 4.16% on Money Mitch. So I'm gonna.
I'm still holding that. I'm still holding it.
Chance oh look, you're gonna have the other side of this Head and Shoulders coming. Right here.
I'm still holding it. It's gonna get up there, and one thing you don't forget is that they got the NFL deal, right? The data with NFL, they got the partnerships, man. There's no one in here competing with them in their data. If you could bring me a competitor that could actually stand up with them,
what data?
There's sports data. They bring the sports data to the leagues and also to the sports betting platforms.
Okay.
Boom. But Drive Shack. Let's talk a little bit really quickly. DS. They just got a new deal, a partnership with Rory McIlroy for their kind of puttery. This is a new experience. This is a copy to Top Golf. Exact copy. I would call them a copycat. But the one thing that they're trying to do differently is not just do drive. They're also trying to do some kind of puttery where you're kind of being able to drink and still being able to, play some putt. So look for these experiences. I don't find it a bad one for a reopening play.
What's a symbol?
DS.
Pull it up. You got it up? Okay. What's market cap? Let me go to the Benzinga Pro.
Yep. Market cap is 313 million. Industry average of 886 million. Let's look at the chart real quick. So it looks like it's been trading in this range of about $4 down to $2. So it's in this $2 range on a nice dip right here, though, Jason. So if you're looking to get in,
why didn't Money Mitch tell me about that yesterday before?
Well, we actually had it on Money Mitch from 3 up to 4, and then it pulled back now. So now we're looking back at it. So
looking back at it at 3, up 5% today, 5.5%.
Do we have Rory McIlroy coming on the show to talk to him?
We might need to. He's opening one up in Dallas in new puttery. And so they expect to open 7 puttery venues by the end of 2021. And so I'm keeping an eye on these. These are literally copycats.
All right, I'm getting to their.
I sort of like it.
I'm seeing I'm trying to find like a picture of this puttery because I want to picture it. Because I'm trying to think of what would a consumer.
But I'm putting that on my Benzinga Pro watch list right now. And if you don't have a Benzinga Pro, go to benzinga.com and on the top right corner, make a watch list. Put this on. Call it the watch list. Call it the Power Hour watch list.
So Mitch, is this the biggest difference, this puttery thing? Like why a consumer would go to a Drive Shack over a Topgolf?
That and it's cheaper. It's cheaper, usually in not the highest, let's say, trending areas. They usually go for lower locations so they can go ahead and not pay so much on the rent side, bring the price down to you. And I mean, if you can do the same thing you're doing at a Topgolf for, let's say, 20% cheaper, I think it's an option, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I always like to know with competitors who are competing against, the leader in the industry. So we can say Topgolf is the leader. What sets them apart? Are they doing the exact same thing? Is it a cheaper alternative? So you're saying it's a little bit cheaper, and you also have this putting aspect to it, which Topgolf is not capitalizing on. So that's interesting.
Do you like Eli?
Do I? Or does Mitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it earlier. I mean, it's just hard to play now. It's one of those stocks that is just so extended. I mean, how much can you possibly get more juice out of that? Maybe 10, 20%. But whenever I think about a stock and I can only think about 10 or 15%, it just doesn't show me enough upside to go after it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're Topgolf being busy. I think there's more with Eli. I own Eli. I'm long it.
All right, Jason and Mitch. Well, our guest is waiting for us, Matt Bailey, CEO.
Oh, wow. Look at before he comes on. It just moved a little bit on the show.
What did?
And that's why I'm up a lot today.
Tesla?
No, I guess it's a 46 million market cap, so forget it. I don't know. FGF. It's the BTN one. That's one of my biggest positions. FGF.
Yep. Let's pull that chart up real quick. We've got up 10% today.
Yeah, so that's why.
Do we have news in here on it?
It's probably because they're getting closer to get the op loans deal public.
Okay.
That's what usually is. Yeah, that's my second biggest gainer besides Tesla today.
And then I assume BTN is also up.
BTN is up. No, BTN is up 0.22, but FGF is more a move of an OPFI. So, yeah, it's up 0.58% today on FGF. If I can get the chairman on later, I'll come back on. Okay, I'll let you go do your interview now, and there you go.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Peace.
Bringing on Game On. So this company is very exciting, doing some of the micro betting things. So if you want to bet on just a single, sports drive in a football game, or a single at bat in a baseball game, stuff like that, I'm going to go ahead and play our little intro and bring Matt on. Matt, how's it going?
I'm good. Happy Monday. Thanks for having me.
Happy Monday to you as well. So real quick, Matt, where are you from?
I'm originally from Australia, moved to New York about 7 years ago, and then last year just moved to Miami. So I'm in Miami right now.
Wow. So what were you doing in New York when you moved over?
So I was at the ripe old age of 23. And I literally just wanted an adventure. I'd seen, the US and sports, the major leagues kind of on TV and in movies. And I just decided I'm quitting my job and I'm booking a ticket. And I just bought a one-way ticket to New York and didn't have anything established or set up. But, worked it all out along the way, ended up working for the Brooklyn Nets and Barclays Center for a long time. Worked in the agency world before I took the deep dive into the startup world. So yeah, had a great time in New York. It's a great place, but now I'm enjoying the change of pace in Miami.
Wow. So you're saying you bought a one-way ticket over to a whole new country, not even knowing, essentially what you would be doing.
That's pretty. The me today is shocked when you say that back to me. But that taught me, that was the learning curve and what really set me up for entrepreneurship. Like that learning experience of having to work it out, set it up in a new place, no friends, didn't know anybody, didn't have a job. So that, New York definitely chewed me up and spat me out a few times. But that was the experience that definitely helps me today as a founder and CEO.
So, when you came over, you said you were doing some work with the Brooklyn Nets, and now you're at a company that's also involved with sports. I mean, has this been a long time passion of yours? Did you grow up playing sports?
Yeah. Sports is always what I've wanted to do. I played rugby all my life back in Australia. I started studying sports on the exercise, on the science side, out of when I went to university. But then very quickly, within like a year, when I started getting into those like chemistry and biology classes, I was like, nah, I need out of this. So I switched to business. And that's when I didn't turn back. So sports business, they're still focused on sports, and really, really love that. Grew a passion for it. Worked in sports all my life, always on the business side, on the deal making side. And then, started working on Game On, which, is today's passion, and really excited to share more about it today.
So real quick, I mean, the way I described it, from what I could tell, it seems like Game On's goal is to make betting kind of more engaging. Is that accurate, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, so it's not just betting; it's also on the free-to-play side, and we help content providers make their content more social and engaging. So we're a B2B, we're a technology company, a predictive gaming company, and we plug into TV networks, sports books, teams, leagues, tournaments to help make their content more engaging and social through prediction games.
Interesting. So I see on here that you have some good partners between Bravo, NBC Universal, Comcast, The Real Housewives. So where do you see, in an example, at least let's go with The Real Housewives, with something like a reality TV show, how can you make that more engaging for the audience? What's your role there?
So we build predictive gaming experience around the content, be it sports or reality TV. So for example, for a reality TV partner, it might be before the game, and all the fans who are watching, before the show, before all the fans who are watching, make predictions like, will Rachel receive a rose this episode? Which housewife will appear first? Will there be an engagement in this episode? So it suddenly gets the fan, the viewer, more invested, watching, and more excited about the content. It's more social and engaging. And that whole experience looks and feels like our partner's experience. So when we did the Real Housewives activation last year, it looked and felt like a Real Housewives experience. It was just powered by Game On.
So how would you deal with, something like reality TV that's not like live sports, where live sports is truly live, something with reality TV that's been recorded? I mean, how would you deal with, people saying, how can you bet on something that's happened in the past? I mean, this has already happened. Insider knowledge could leak of who did get the rose.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's come up in your business before.
Yeah. So when we're working with the IP partners, more often than not, it's a free-to-play experience. So with NBC, Universal, and Bravo, they're not taking real money bets. So there's less concern over that. Now, if we're working with sports books, it's more likely to be around sports, and of course, they have the licenses in place to roll out something like that.
Hey, Matt, Spencer Israel here. I'm one of the other guys on this ship. So if I'm getting this right, you're just the technology provider, right? That enables the integration of betting on anything into like a show, for example. Is that fair?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. We want to empower the IP holder to make their content more engaging and social through prediction games. And our technology is 100% programmatic. That's the main selling point, is that, a lot of our competitors in the space have to integrate at the broadcast level, which means someone has to produce it on their end. That's not the case here. We write the questions, grade and result in real time, update leaderboards, and then distribute any rewards or prizing at the end. 100% programmatic. So there's no additional lift on our partner's end, but we're still driving all of the KPIs that they want us to, like engagement, viewership, data collection, and of course, revenue and bottom line.
Explain the programmatic thing a little bit, because I think most people probably have heard that word within the context of advertising, right? Programmatic ads. Can you just explain a little bit more for people who don't know?
Yeah, so what programmatic means is that it doesn't require human interaction on our or the partner's end. So it happens automatically. So programmatic and automatic are kind of interchangeable, especially in this use case. So when we're handing this technology or integrating our technology to our partners, no one has to sit there and input every score, or input a touchdown, or write a prediction before they distribute it to the user. It's totally automatic, and that's our engine, our predictive engine does that.
You said right now a lot of this is free to play, but for the stuff that's not free to play, what is the regulatory landscape like right now? Because I don't know. I'm asking you, like, what are there other? We have legal sports betting in the U.S., but I don't know like what that entails. I don't know if that applies to The Bachelor, for example, right? So, like, what is the regulatory landscape here as far as integrating this type of stuff? This type of content into television shows or etc.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to say is that we're not a sports book.
Okay.
So when we're working with partners who want to roll out real money games, they're the ones with the licenses.
Okay.
More often than not, it's the sports book themselves. Today, we're not seeing TV networks getting into it, being a sports book, but I think that's probably a few years away where we start to see them dabble and want a piece of that pie. But our role is just being the technology partner. But when we're looking at the regulatory landscape, I think in North America, it's the biggest. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. Not many can say that in North America will be the biggest market for sports betting. It's one of the only markets in the world that isn't fully legal right now, but it's slowly becoming legal across the US and in Canada. And the role we want to play is to be the technology partner.
I'm trying to understand, like, who are your competitors? Do you have a competitor? I don't even know.
Yeah, there are a handful of competitors doing, the B2B predictive gaming or fantasy type solutions. How we differentiate is, first of all, on the product. So most of the products that are being built today are very simple. They're borrowed from other solutions. They're not innovative. So we're trying to be at the forefront of innovation with the products that we build. There will be a news release coming out tomorrow in regards to a new product of ours that combines the world of predictive gaming and collectibles. So look out for that and refer to this when I'm saying like how we're trying to be innovative. You'll really see that tomorrow. But then how we actually, our real unfair advantage is our team. You saw my background in sports, but our chief product officer built and is the mastermind behind NBA Top Shot. He was at Dapper Labs before us, and then before that, he was at EA Sports building FIFA. Our chairman was the original Grand Theft Auto creator. He got acquired by Take-Two Interactive and remains on their board today. He's still a director there. A couple of advisors of ours come from DraftKings. Tim Cahill, who played for Australia in 4 World Cups and played for Everton in the EPL. He's getting our foot in many doors. So our team is our true secret sauce and unfair advantage.
And you're under the Victory Square umbrella, right?
Yep. Yeah. They've been incredible partners. Victory Square, they own the old V2 Games, which acquired Game On's assets, and now we became Game On Entertainment Technologies. We raised $5.8 million in a pre-IPO financing, listed, about a month ago, and they've been an incredible partner every step of the way. It's funny, in today's world, I haven't had a chance to meet them yet. We've achieved everything that I just mentioned, which is kind of blows my mind. But they're incredible guys, and we're super proud to be part of their portfolio.
So just to understand this, your company trades in Canada, but in the U.S. you're under the Victory Square ticker.
No, right? we're fully under we're fully our own entity. We're listed in Canada and Germany in Frankfurt, and soon to be in the US by the OTC.
Okay. There we go. Do we have a filing or a ticker to look out for in the US?
More to come shortly. That's on its way.
More to come. All right.
Do you have any timeline on that, the OTC listing, or is that are we just gonna have to keep our ears to the ground to hear more about that?
We're hoping in the next 4 to 8 weeks. We're just in the approval process now and just buttoning up everything, but we're well on our way.
Okay, wow. Yeah.
Wait, last question, Matt. Favorite thing to bet on?
There's just so much going on right now. I'm a big sports fan, but I enjoyed. I think tennis. I would say tennis is my favorite thing.
Really? Why?
Not my favorite sport. It's probably rugby's my favorite. I've really gotten into NFL since moving to the US. But tennis is just something that you can really get invested in and get a good few hours of win or lose. You get a good few hours of entertainment out of. I enjoyed Wimbledon over the last couple of weeks, so maybe it's just fresh in my mind. But I really like betting on tennis.
I feel like I've actually had a pretty good record when it comes to betting with tennis compared to other sports.
Okay.
And because it's one person, you're relying on one individual to just show up versus a whole squad or a whole team. But also one individual cannot turn up, and that can ruin the bet. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. What about Australian football? Because I know it's a little bit different than rugby.
Yeah.
But I actually met a guy who used to play Australian football over in Australia on the pro level, and now he's playing in the NFL.
Because they've gotten such massive kicks on them, they can come in and be a kicker in the NFL. I like Aussie rules. The Australian sport is a little bit different in that where you're from dictates what sport you like, and you support that sport almost like it's your team. So Australia has a weird environment where if you're an Aussie rules fan, you hate rugby. And if you're a rugby fan, you hate Aussie rules. And it's a smaller market as well. So they often market, they don't work together. They market against each other because there's not as many fans. So I grew up loving rugby because I'm from Sydney, rugby league. But I'm a general sports fan, so I can watch an Aussie rules game as well. Not as passionately, but I like Aussie rules as well.
But you're in the minority there, though, that you can say you like both, because you're saying most people either love Aussie rules football or love rugby, but not both of them.
Yeah, and it's the same. Like and both Aussie rules and rugby fans hate soccer fans. Like they're just like, so it's a weird. I like them much better in North America, where you have a fan for every sport. When I was in New York, you ask someone their teams, and they'll just go, all right, Giants, Yankees, Islanders, bang, like they're my teams.
Don't I know it? I'm from the area. Everyone's got like 4 teams. That's the point. All right. Matt Bailey is the CEO of Game On. We've learned a lot about his business, but also I think a lot about the Australian sports culture, which I didn't expect to learn today. So Matt, thanks a lot. Pleasure. We'll keep our ears to the ground for that OTC opening.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
You too.
On the note of sports and betting, you know what sport I've become enamored with in the last week?
Soccer?
No, Formula One. I started watching that show on Netflix, that Drive to Survive show. Oh my God, is it good? I have never seen a Formula One race in my life. I didn't know anything about Formula One, but in the last week, I'm becoming like obsessed with this sport that I never paid attention to at all. Highly recommend that show. I'm sure you can bet on races. I intend to, because I'm super in Daniel. Yes, super into it. I'm like a brand new fan. So
Daniel might need to change his profile picture after yesterday.
I can't see who that's a picture of.
It's Mason Mount, I believe, a guy that's on the English soccer team who, of course...
I didn't watch all of that game. I watched all of the game. I watched a lot of sports yesterday. No more sports for me for a while.
Tiny Pie saying he likes F1 as well. I will need to... It's better now. There are a few contenders. Yeah, I think for a while it was pretty much just that Lewis Hamilton guy
from Mercedes.
And he's one of the... I was looking at like the highest paid athletes in the world the other day.
Oh yeah, he's Michael, for a while there, Michael Schumacher was like had the record for like career earnings from a professional athlete. He was like a decade ago, right?
Tara L is asking, what's the show's name? I believe it's Drive to Survive.
It's Formula One Drive to Survive. It's on. I never would have thought I would get into this because I was never into it before, but I cannot recommend it enough. They do a really good job of like finding stories that you can emotionally invest in. Honestly, and building drama. Oh, so much drama. Honestly, I never would have thought I would say that, but I'm telling you, it's
All
fantastic.
right. Well, we'll have to check that out. What
Before
about
we-
what?
Yeah, go.
I was just gonna ask you what look over and tell me what Raz is doing. Is he hopping back on? Because we had some more things to discuss before our guest.
Well, did you want to talk about space? Did you talk about that yet?
We talked about it. You know, I was given my thesis of why I thought it was down before the offering.
Okay, what was your thesis?
Well, I mean, it was just a classic buy the rumor, sell the news, and because I've looked into what they're trying to do, like what their real business model is, and it seems like they're pretty far away from more sophisticated space ventures, whether that be actually like blasting off into space and or go into a certain, whether it be the moon or wherever in space, like that's pretty far away. So really the only next mission they can do, if you want to call it that, is just the same thing they already did yesterday or on Saturday, whenever that was that they flew into space, just really high up into space.
I mean, it wasn't even. It was like 60 kilometers, which is high, but not as high as Bezos is going, right? But look, it's funny because I saw I did not see the press release come out at 9:29. I only saw the chart, so I didn't see it till a few minutes after the open. Like, oh, these guys did an offering.
Oh, they announced the offering before, but even
it was at 9:29 or 9:28.
But even before they announced that, like it was trading down in pre-market.
Well, it was trading. What time? It was at 9. It was 9:30 basically. Look at that. It was 9:30. Ridiculous. Yeah. Well, if you look at a chart, like it opened at base. It opened and went to like 60, almost 60. Right. It went to 59.99 this morning. So it did open higher and spent basically the next 8 hours going lower, 9 hours going lower from that high. So it wasn't until, because what did we close at? We closed at 49 and a quarter. So we actually opened higher, right? So I saw some tweets and some headlines this morning like Virgin Galactic pops, after Richard Branson, and I was like, the stock didn't. It popped for like 10 seconds at 4 a.m. I hate those headlines. They piss me off because people who don't account for those articles aren't accounting for like the pre-market, and you're missing out on a whole other world. So, look, Aaron, I had this one as my pick in the chat challenge, right? Which we need to update that, but we did the chat challenge last week. We did it on Thursday, right?
Did you pick space?
I picked space. This was my pick. We were going until the end of this week. This was my pick. I am not going to win, I think.
Mine's not looking great either. Down 3.5% today. Ticker LU Lufax Holden, but I have faith, Spencer.
In my defense, I did not see an offering coming.
In my defense on LU, look what it did on Friday of last week. So I picked it. It's based off Thursday's close.
Yeah.
Friday,
you were good for a minute there at the open on Friday, and that was it.
Yeah, I'll take it. But yeah, I mean, I think I don't think Richard Branson gets enough attention. Everyone's like got their eyes glued to Elon Musk. Richard Branson used to kind of market himself as this, environmental guy, all this stuff. And then, he got criticism because he was flying in a private plane, like Elon Musk, and just doing a lot of stuff that if you were really that concerned about the environment, you wouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And then now I feel like he's just like, screw it. I just want to go to space. Like him and Elon, it seems like are just kind of in this battle of who can be the first rich guy to really make their mark on space.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's that like injured. Like I wouldn't pay
$250 million to.
Yeah. How much did the person bid on Bezos's flight?
Oh, let's look it up. Also, like the thing is, you can if it's zero gravity you're after, you can simulate that on Earth, right? For I'm sure a much smaller fee.
Yeah. And like I get FOMO.
$28 million was the winning bid.
Oh my! I mean, you could have done so much with that money, so many different things. But look, Spencer, like I get FOMO in trading, but just in life too. Like if I'm in St. Louis this weekend, like if you guys were all, like you guys were all having fun on Friday after the company meeting, and I was having FOMO.
You missed
imagine the FOMO you'd get if you're in space.
I'm not following you. Why? Because everyone else is not in space.
Yeah, like I would have FOMO of what's going on with you guys in Detroit. FOMO of what's going on in St. Louis. There's so many places that I wouldn't be if I was in space.
Yeah. I think that's the point, man.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Oh, geez. Webcoin says it's zero gravity every Friday night. All right. To each their own.
I don't get that. It's over my head.
I don't know. It's probably just a weed joke. I have no idea. I was looking at. I saw someone asked about Neo. I was looking at solar today. Did you see Tan is having a good day?
I saw Run was running. So yeah, I mean Tan is just the ETF that holds all the solar, right?
That's what I look at. Yep.
So Sunrun is up about 3.5%. I like this company long term. I just would like to know. I mean, so Sunrun is the residential leader in solar panels. So for people that are building their houses, what worries me with this company is right now in this housing boom we're in, you have to assume it's going to stop at some point, right? So then with the numbers of, people are building less homes this time next year, would that hurt the stock? All this stuff. And I don't know if it makes more sense from a business standpoint to be involved in kind of the commercial B2B side of solar as opposed to just strictly residential.
Yeah. It's a great point you made. I'm also watching the banks today, right? Banks all trading higher into earnings. Very interesting. I'm sure Dennis scalped a few cents in all these banks this morning, right? Where you can look at Morgan Stanley up 3% today, JP Morgan up almost 2%. You got Goldman Sachs up almost 3%. You got Wells Fargo trading higher. You got Citi trading higher. The whole group is trading higher, and they report starting tomorrow, actually, with who's tomorrow? Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, I believe. Let me I'm in the wrong calendar. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting to me about the bank stocks is a lot of them aren't really trading that much higher than their pre-COVID levels when the markets as a whole have been, a lot higher. Yeah. So tomorrow before the open, we have Goldman, JP Morgan, First Republic Bank.
And it's not interesting. Goldman is well above its pre-COVID levels.
Well, I'm not saying all of them aren't.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot that so Bank of America is well above its COVID levels, about 15%. Wells Fargo, however, is, I believe, just below its pre-COVID levels.
Daniel asked when Deutsche Bank is. It's the 28th. There you go, Daniel. Deutsche Bank is 20th. That's
interesting. So they're reporting a couple weeks later than the rest of the banks.
The international ones are always a little bit later. But yeah, so Goldman well higher, right? But your point was, I mean, JP Morgan's well higher, right? And JP Morgan has been best in breed for. So
I'm mainly talking about Wells Fargo, Citibank.
Yeah.
Citibank is below its.
Wells Fargo has its own problems. Citigroup is not quite there.
Or Citigroup, sorry, not Citibank.
I mean, I feel like the more retail, I don't know off the top of my head, but I want to say Citi, Wells, and Bank America are more retail focused. But I shouldn't say, because I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Never mind. I don't know off the top of my head who has more. Like how the revenue lines mix and match for each one, because
holy cow, Goldman is way above its pre-COVID levels.
Yeah, that's
like 61%. But that is just interesting to see that. I guess all the bank stocks together aren't acting as a cohesive unit. They're kind of doing their own thing
to an extent. I mean, today they're all acting cohesively. They're all up today. So the question is this just classic run up into the report, sell the report no matter what? I would lean that way. Yeah, you sell the numbers are going to be good. We know the numbers are going to be amazing. We're talking year-over-year comparison, and last year sucked, right? For everything except for trading revenue. So they're gonna be good. It's a question of is this the rally into the report you sell tomorrow? I can see that happening for sure. For sure. Blank. I want to hop off here because I did plan a replay that I want to get to because it was a brand new show that we had on Sunday. And I'm not sure how many people saw it, and I want more people to watch it.
Last thing, did you catch what we were talking about when we were talking about Disney earlier? I want to hear your input on this.
What about Disney?
So Disney's up 2.5% today.
Yep.
And this is one of your biggest holdings, which is why I want to ask you about it.
Yeah, it's my largest for an individual stock. Yeah.
And my point, and Mitch and I were kind of arguing about it, was so the stock's up, right? And you go to the headlines, and people are attributing it to the Black Widow being the leader in the box office this weekend. I basically was saying, with a stock this big like Disney that has its hands in so many different things, it's hard to attribute the price movement of, and 2.5% is pretty significant for a stock this big, just to say it's because one single movie is doing so well.
I'm not. So if you're on the Black Widow train, I wouldn't so much say, oh, it was the box. They did amazing at the box office. I would say, oh, Black Widow made whatever $60 million just from Disney Plus.
Okay.
Plus. So there's that.
And we brought up a good point where we kind of agreed on is the fact that if you're arguing that if the argument is that this is a good sign of things to come for a box office, for Disney Plus, if it's more of an indication of what's going to happen, then that makes more sense rather than just saying, this one movie did really well, so the market cap should grow X amount,
Yeah, there's a million. You can tell yourself whatever you want to hear, right? If you want to say it's because of it's the box office fundamental, great. If you want to say, oh, look at the chart, oh, this is just a technical breakout, you can say that too. There's no one reason.
Mike said, Mike, I understand. So it's that Disney Plus is able to make that much money without the theaters, but there are also headlines talking about how Black Widow outperformed all these other movies and it's been, the biggest movie opening weekend since COVID hit.
You could also, yes, I know what you're both saying. You could also just look at the chart and see, oh, it was stuck in this range. That's breaking out today.
Right. You can attribute it all technical. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, every time we see a price movement, it from a human point of view, we want an explanation. So whether it's accurate or not, we'll find something to attribute that price movement to. I mean, the most classic example recently was the Newegg thing last week, where people wanted it to make it that it was because these Nvidia things were when the stock was up 100% in a day. I mean, it's just because there's correlation doesn't necessarily mean there's causation.
Yes, agreed. I think agree to disagree on the Disney thing. It doesn't have to be one reason. All that really matters is that price don't lie. And in this case,
oh wait, is this the same Daniel? Did he change his thing to an F1 guy now?
Very nice, Daniel. Very nice.
That was quick.
Okay, we're doing a replay right now of a brand new show that started on Sunday. Mind Money Method with Swing Pony, and it was a Sunday. It actually got very good viewership for a Sunday show, but I wanted to play during the day because getting in front of a different crowd. And it was actually very good. It was a very good show. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched part of it. I'm going to watch the rest I didn't see right now. So that's what's playing right now. This stream will redirect. No get technical today. Neil has advised us he'll be back tomorrow. That's just what he told us. Okay. I don't actually know about this guy. But if you want to send him hate mail, you should. I won't give out Neil's email because I'm not mean. But if you want to send an angry email, you can.
But you could probably guess it.
Just send an email to shows@benzinga.com, and I will forward all the hate mail to Neil directly.
I think Neil is on the at Power Hour at Benzinga.
Oh, is he? I didn't know.
So you can email us powerhour@benzinga.com. Just put something about Neil in the subject line, so that we know who it's directed to, and we can make sure that it gets to the right desk. But yeah, stick around. We're replaying a show that debuted last night, I believe, and that's
what I said.
It's Money, Mind, and what was it called again?
That's not what I said. I said Mind and Money Method with Swing Pony. So that's what's going to happen now. Mooner Boss is live at 2:00, our altcoin show. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do at 3 o'clock. Normally, I would hop on with Edwin Dorsey. He's not around today. Normally, I'd hop on with Joel at 3:30. I'll probably hop on at 3:30 anyway and just hang out with you all until 4 o'clock. Money Mitch is at 4. Trend Spotter is at 5. Rail Report is at 7. That's the rest of the day. I think
Jim's got the right idea. His mind's on the money. Stick around for Swing Pony.
Mind on my money, man. Mind on money. All right. Please remember, I don't know if Aaron Bree does this. I'm doing it for him. Do that, right? All the content on our shows for informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Do you do that every day, Aaron?
Usually I opt for this little guy that goes across the bottom. All content is for informational purposes, not to be used as investment advice. I could do a better job, Spencer, of reading it out loud as you did.
Yeah.
So I'll try to make sure to incorporate that.
What if people are like are deaf and no? What if they're blind and they're on the they're listening to us? What if they're listening to the podcast? Then they don't get the video.
It's true. That's a good point.
Or they're just I don't know.
Speaking of podcasts, check out Spencer and I's Ring the Bell. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And essentially the gist of it is it's 5 minutes or less, just going over the biggest stories on Wall Street. So if you just want something quick and easy, maybe you're driving to work and you want to get caught up on the markets, check out Ring the Bell. We do it every day.
Most days.
Most days.
All right. I'm going to hop off, AB. See you guys.
All right. I'll see you over on the replay.
All right.